How's it going, everyone? Fordham Firesides. I'm Hank Michaels. Today, my guest is Megan Horan.
Either one's fine.
She works on a podcast with a actor or former actor.
Right. Mostly former actor.
Yeah.
He was in like a ton of movies, but his first one was The Godfather.
Yes.
And biggest one, obviously.
Yeah. And he has a podcast. He's writing a book. Mm-hmm. He's a classic like Italian mob character, both in Hollywood and in real life. I understand.
Absolutely.
So why don't you tell me about like how you got involved with this guy and what you're doing with him?
Yeah. So the way I met him was completely random. I wouldn't have known him by looking at him being like, oh my God, that guy was in The Godfather. Like there was no recognition at all. And we so happened to be staying at the same resort in Florida over New Year's.
Okay.
So I remember one night we were out at dinner and my mom and I never said anything to each other, but we realized later that we had both seen him and his fiance and just thought like, oh wow, that's like a good looking couple.
Yeah.
Like they look like rich Floridians or something like that. And then later he supposedly sat behind us in church because my family goes to church every Sunday. And so he saw my dad in the resort and was like, hey, I saw you in church. And they got talking, and my dad's the kind of guy who's like, where are you from? What do you do?
Yeah.
Like, he's very much always wants to learn about people. And the guy basically was like, yeah, my first movie was The Godfather.
No
and my
way.
dad's like, you're kidding. Like, that's my mom's favorite movie ever, as it is so many people's. And, my dad didn't want to bug him, but he was like, you know what? Like, my daughter is interested in film. She wants to get into the entertainment industry because I'm a film major. And he was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Like bring her over. I'll talk to her. So like the next day he and his fiance were sitting by the pool. My dad was like, come over and talk to him. I was like, I don't want to bother the guy. Like, I don't want to do that. But then we ended up sitting by the pool and talking for like 2 hours. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to take you in. I'm going to treat you as if you were my daughter. We're having a Golden Globes party on Sunday. Do you want to come? Like
That's
we live
awesome.
on the Upper East Side. And so we just got really close really quickly. And he was like, yes, I have a book coming out. And I want to do a podcast, kind of. He has so many stories to share about his life. And he was like, I want you to be on it. He's like, I want you to co-host it with me. And I was like, what? Like, you have no idea who I am. You have no idea, like, you only talked with me for a little while. But, yes, that's basically how we met. And now we're co-hosting this podcast
That definitely
together.
is really random, but
It's
that's
so
kind of
random.
incredible.
Yeah, I still can't believe that it happened.
And it was just on vacation in Florida.
Yeah, just so happened to be staying. Like, it wasn't like my dad went up and bugged him and was like, hey, you were in The Godfather. Like, there was no recognition at all. And then, yeah, it just kind of turned out the way it has.
And in The Godfather, he plays the character that like marries Corleone's daughter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like beats her and he gets whacked at some point.
See, that's a movie I have not seen enough. I saw it like once a while ago, and it's a movie where if I really want to like, I have to be in the mood to watch The Godfather.
You have to commit to it. It's long too.
Because it's a movie everyone says is like greatest of all time.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna sit down for like an almost 3-hour movie, I want to be like ready to watch it and fully appreciate it. But I remember like the plot points enough, and I remember that character. Is he in both of them or just the first one?
He's in both. He's in the second one, I think, just in a flashback portion because he dies in the first one. So I think it's a flashback. I've actually never seen the second one.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
I know. I got to get on it.
I feel like I should at this point, but I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. So you intern with him now, right? Is that what you would call it, or?
I mean, I don't really know exactly. It's kind of like, he told me, obviously, he wants me to start getting credits in the industry. Okay. And so he was like, I'm going to credit you with like an associate producer. Okay. As well as a co-host. So I don't know if it would be technically an internship. I think at this point any project that he has coming up, he's going to have me on. So it's kind of like he wants to take me under his wing and put me on the right path in the industry.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's insane.
And is it just starting? Like you're only a couple episodes in?
We just started, I guess, the end of January, I think we started recording. We've recorded 7 episodes so far. We meet like once a week and record 2, and but only 2 are out so far on iTunes.
And what's the name of the podcast?
Hollywood Godfather Podcast.
Okay, yeah. So if you want to check it out, it's on iTunes, right?
Yes,
and Spotify and all that stuff.
I don't think it's on Spotify, but you can also access it through our website, Hollywood Godfather Podcast.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So what? Who else is on the podcast? Is it different guests, or is there other like regulars as well?
I think we're planning on having guests, but Gianni hasn't figured out exactly who would fall into, because the topics just kind of flow as the stories come up. So it's like who can we try to bring on that would that would go with that flow. But it's me, Gianni, and then he has a book coming out that's called Hollywood Godfather.
Okay.
My Life in the Movies and the Mob. And so it's him and his co-writer of the book, who's a professor and writer in Pittsburgh.
What's
so it's
his
the
name?
three of us. His name's Patrick Picciarelli.
Okay. Did I read that he was like ex-NYPD?
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
So that's an interesting dynamic.
It is because they met because I'm pretty sure that Pat was on cases that Gianni was involved in.
Oh, really?
Gianni's been indicted like 20 some times for various crimes, but has never actually been convicted.
Yeah.
So I think it started out with that. You know, Pat had an idea of who he was, and then it became some friendship that is, again, just like a crazy way of coming together.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works with how like actual like mob involved people get cast in mob movies. Was he based out of New York or LA at the time?
He was based in New York. Yeah,
Okay.
he was born in New York City.
So when they did casting for The Godfather, did they come to New York and like try and cast authentic people?
He actually, I don't even think it turned out to be that way. From what I remember of the stories that he's told me, it was he heard about the movie and really wanted to be in it. And so he was like, I need a part. I either want to play Carlo, Sonny, Michael.
Yeah.
And so he did a screen test and sent it in because they had put an ad out saying that we want non-actors, but supposedly that wasn't even true. That was kind of just like a publicity stunt. I don't really know exactly why, but supposedly that wasn't true. So he did a screen test, sent it in, and they were like, I'm sorry, you've been mistaken. Like, we aren't looking for non-actors.
Okay.
And then I think he used his connections in the mob to kind of persuade them to put him in the movie, and it worked out. And so he did get a hard time from Marlon Brando in the beginning, because Brando was like, are you in a TV show?
Oh, yeah.
Did you have a movie? You're not on Broadway, because I know everyone on Broadway. And he was like, yeah, no, I've never done anything before.
Brando was like already well established at that point too.
Yeah, like completely.
On the Waterfront had come out like 20 years prior or something like that.
Yeah, he had already been so established in the industry.
Was Al Pacino like famous at all before that movie?
I don't think so.
I'm
not completely sure, but I feel like that was probably what really pushed his career.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that.
Yeah,
and Francis Ford Coppola had he done a lot of movies? I think The Conversation came out before that one with Gene Hackman or something.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen it, but like
neither.
I mean, I can't really name too many of his movies besides those and Apocalypse Now and stuff. And I think he did The Outsiders too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't really know much of his movies, to be honest.
Yeah. I know his daughter Sofia Coppola did Lost in Translation and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, that whole Coppola family is like still like very much like around today. Like Nicolas Cage and Jason Schwartzman are all like related in some way because of that family.
True.
It's kind of interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. So besides the podcast, what else did you help him with the book at all, or? No,
the book was already written when I came on the scene, because I only met him a couple months ago. Because I met him over New Year's, and so the book, he had been working on this book I think since like the 90s or something. Really? So he had really been wanting to put out a book because he just has so many crazy stories to share. And I think eventually he met the right co-writer, and now it's in the works, and it's actually done. It's being printed, and it's coming out on March 12th.
Okay.
So
that's awesome.
So I had no hand in the book whatsoever. That was all him and Pat. I just came on the scene for the podcast.
That's like a week away.
I know. Yeah.
Have you read any of it?
I've read all of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How long?
How long? What do you mean?
How many pages? Yeah.
Oh, it's like close to 300.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I read it so quickly because it was just so interesting.
Yeah.
Just the crazy stuff that he has to share.
How like what time period does it go up to? Does it go up to just like modern day or up to the 90s, or is it?
Yeah, it goes up until. Yeah, I guess not really modern day. I think like a little bit past The Godfather and like I guess into the 80s and 90s if I remember correctly.
Is there a lot of parts in the book that like focus on his time working on the movie too?
Yeah, there is. There's a lot
really
of that.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I gotta. I'm sure there's documentaries too. Like I'm sure like the making of that movie is completely fascinating.
Yeah, I did see a behind the scenes kind of making of the movie documentary. And it was really I saw parts of it because I just was on TV.
Is Gianni in it?
I didn't realize it at the time, but I talked to him about it later, and he was like, "Yeah, I was on that. Like, I was commenting on it." So I was like, "I didn't realize that at the time."
That's awesome.
But yeah, supposedly he was in it.
So did this? Did The Godfather? I'm assuming it did. Like, it jump started his career in acting to an extent. Was like, how involved with acting after The Godfather was he? Like,
he was in a lot of stuff. I think he was in close to 50 films. He's never starred in anything.
Okay.
But he's been in a lot of stuff. He even did a couple episodes in like Prison Break.
Okay.
He was in like the first 6 episodes of that. Like he's done a lot of small parts. So he's definitely kept up in the industry for a while. I don't think he's done anything for a few years now, but yeah.
Does he know like a lot of those like New York Italian actors that are always in like Goodfellas and Sopranos and stuff like that?
I think so.
Like, who's that one guy that he's like in every like mob movie, the really big Italian guy? I know he's in The Sopranos.
Oh, I don't even know. I've never seen The Sopranos.
I worked with some guy over the summer that's like good friends with him, and I completely forgot his name. But he's got like an iconic face. Like
I think I know who you're talking about. Did he just pass away recently? Was it that guy?
No.
Okay. I don't know who it is. Then.
Yeah, I don't know. If I think of it, I probably won't.
That's okay.
But I understand you wanted to be an actor yourself at a time.
I did. For a while, growing up, I had always loved singing, and that got me into theater when I was little, just like, little grade school theater into high school. And then I started taking screen acting classes at a casting agency back home. I'm from Philly. Okay. So I started doing that, and I really liked it, and I got great feedback. And then when it came to coming to college, I was like, I don't think I want to be a theater major. I just don't think it's for me. It's a little too intense, and it's a lot of commitment. So I was like, I want to do more of the industry side of it. So I just decided to become a film and TV major with a concentration in film. Okay. Yeah.
Well, when you do like screen acting classes, how does that work? Like, what's the difference between that and theater acting? Like, I understand it's a different type of acting, but I didn't even realize there was like you could take screen acting classes.
Yeah, because it's like screen acting is different from theater because theater is a lot more theatrical, obviously. And screen acting, I don't really know what the difference is, really. I guess it's being more in touch with, like, emotion and subtleties. And you kind of just sit in a little room with a couple other people and your coach, and you stand in front of each other and do monologues or do scenes. So I guess it was acting in general, but I was more interested in for the screen part of it and actually doing like films and stuff.
I'm sure there's more like subtlety to screen acting too, because I feel like when you see like theater actors, they come in a movie, they seem like they're overacting a bit, which works in a stage play because you're presenting yourself in a different way. Right. But
you gotta capture the audience a little bit bigger on stage. So
So tell me about being a film major. Like, what kind of classes did they have you taking here and stuff?
There's like history, like theory and criticism. There's different focuses. Like, I'm in films of moral struggle right now. So it's a lot of analysis. And then I took a couple production classes too, just doing short films and stuff like that. So
that's really
cool. It's a good variety. And it's always interesting.
Yeah. What's an example of a film of moral struggle that you had to watch?
We had to watch Avatar.
Oh, okay.
Actually. Okay. Which is not one that I would necessarily think of with that topic. But my teacher has a lot of movies I've never seen before. Yeah. But that was one that we had to watch for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I feel like Avatar is like a pretty like simple moral struggle, so it's kind of like a good start to it too. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like the Fern Gully story, the Pocahontas story.
Yeah.
It's an interesting movie.
It is. Yeah, it's good.
And then have you made any short films yet?
I did, but nothing too exciting.
Nothing you want to brag about?
Yeah, just kind of stuff that I did with groups of friends and, for class mostly, just kind of messing around. Do you know Chuba Ohams? He's on the basketball team.
No, I don't.
We did a little documentary with him about, he's so funny and he has such an interesting way about him that we had him go around and review all the pizza places in the Bronx.
Oh, really?
And like everyone he hated. It just came out to be so funny. It was sad because the audio was really bad because there was no playback until we went into edit. So that was kind of upsetting, but it was so funny. Like, we just liked to mess around with it and just make things that would make people laugh.
Yeah, it's fun. I think making, especially like when you're on a college production level, making funny stuff is like the easiest way to go because nobody's taking you too seriously. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call what I'm doing here funny, but I mean, it can be. But
absolutely.
But yeah, podcasting works. But yeah, like I feel like if I tried to make like a short film and have it be serious, it'd be like a little too like melodramatic and stuff. Like I mean, I'm also not a film major, so I'm not.
Yeah.
I did take a video production class last semester, and we did. Have you seen the movie American Animals?
No.
It came out last summer. It was like a smaller movie, but it's like a true story about these kids that like disguise themselves as like old men and rob their school library for like a Darwin book and Birds of America and stuff, and they like don't get away with it because they're idiots and stuff. So like we recreated that like in a short film version where we like robbed the library for like student access codes for my language. And it was really dumb. But
that's funny.
But my friend and I we were in the class together, we like dressed up as Jesuits and stuff, and like we did like old age makeup and stuff. That was like the best part.
That's so funny.
But I felt a little weird like walking around campus like dressed like
as a Jesuit.
I had like the shirt too. I still have it like in the corner over there because it is like a legit one. I got it on Amazon, but when I opened it, it didn't say costume on it. It was like clergy attire or something like that. It was
like you got a legit
yeah.
That's so funny.
But yeah, that's the closest I've come to making a short film. It's like 5 minutes long.
That's mostly what ours were too. The time limit was like 3 to 5 minutes or something. They just want to teach you how to use the cameras and learn editing and different stuff like that. So it was nothing too serious.
Yeah, and you're right about it, like audio. That's like the hardest part.
Yeah, it's tough.
Unless you have like a boom mic out there or something, or like the lapel mics.
Yeah, we had the little lapels, and it was just like sometimes they just wouldn't pick up.
Yeah, I know.
Which is annoying.
Yeah, it's a pain, and I feel like that can be like the difference too between making it seem low budget and somewhat like competent too.
Yeah. It's tough.
Another reason why I think this works is because we're just talking to mics right now.
Exactly.
And it sounds pretty solid.
It does. Yeah. It sounds great.
Yeah.
You got a good setup here.
Oh, thank you. So, where do you want to take this? Working with Gianni and stuff. Do you want to like to get your foot in the door for the film industry?
Yeah, I think at this point I'm just gonna follow his lead and whatever he thinks I should do or whatever he wants to introduce me to or work on. I'm obviously gonna take that because he hasn't steered me wrong yet.
Yeah.
And, he actually. There's a script written, but they're not in pre-production yet for a movie about his book.
Oh, really?
So there's going to be a movie, most likely, if it still is going at this point. And he said that I would be working on that.
Oh,
so
that's
that
awesome.
would be a cool project for the next couple of years, and it would be in New York. And I think it would just be so interesting because
really cool.
I know him personally for a short amount of time, but we really have become so close.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting relationship because a lot of the times when we record the shows at his apartment.
Okay.
We have our own little home set up too, and it's always him and his fiance and me, and it's like now we're the 3 best friends, and he's 76 years old. So it's like the funniest thing, and he calls me every day, and like we're best friends now. So
that's great.
It's an interesting relationship, but I think it would be really cool to work on that movie and see his life play out as I've heard it from him firsthand and in the book. So I think that would be a really cool thing.
Do you see yourself directing in the future?
Directing? I don't know. I think I would have to I always kind of doubt myself in like what would I really be good at, because obviously I'm fascinated by the whole industry, but I think I really need to start finding out what I'm good at and what I could actually I feel like well.
It's an industry where you might not know what you want to do until you really experience it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I never knew I could do a podcast, and now I'm doing it, and it seems so natural now, and so I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. Yeah.
What movies or industry figures besides Gianni do you see as an inspiration for yourself?
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. I mean, this is gonna sound a little bit off, but my favorite TV show, and now I'm going to TV, has always been Law and Order SVU.
Okay.
Favorite show ever, and I actually visited the set a couple times in high school, and that's how I kind of found out that I wanted to do something in entertainment. And so the main actor of that show, Mariska Hargitay, is like my favorite actor ever. I love her. Okay. But there's so many people in the industry that are inspirations. I don't even think I could think of any offhand.
Do you have a certain type of movie that you would like to work on? Maybe like a passion project? Like what genre?
I don't know. Someone asked me recently, like, what's your favorite genre of film? And I really don't have one. I think it's just kind of, I have so many different favorites for different reasons. Okay. A lot of my favorite directors or movies a lot of times have to do with where I'm from, like things like Rocky or M. Night Shyamalan, who all of his films are in Philly. So that would be cool, something like Philly-based to work on. But Honestly, at this point, anything I can get my hands on, I'm
Yeah,
going
that's
for
true.
at this point.
Yeah. I actually just watched Unbreakable for the first time, like
did
2
you?
months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It
Sixth
is
Sense is probably my favorite
Oh
one.
yeah, that one's great. That and Signs are like my two. Did you ever see Signs?
No, I haven't.
It's like the alien one.
Yeah,
It's
with Mel
so good.
Gibson.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I kind of want to see The Village, even though people kind of like hate on. I mean, they
haven't
hate on all his
seen
movies.
that one, and my parents love that. That's probably the only one of his that I haven't seen.
The reason I want to see is because I know the twist, and the twist is like crazy.
I know the twist too, and I haven't even seen it. Yeah, it is crazy.
So like, might be worth seeing because of like I want to see how that plays out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And Split's really good too.
Split, I thought was great.
Yeah, I liked it
that.
more the second time.
Really?
Yeah, I watched that. My brother and we watched Unbreakable one night, like towards the end of break, and then I'm like, "You want to watch this movie Split also?" And like he had no idea that they're tied together or that what glass was. Or,
right.
So I finally convinced him to watch both movies with me. So when like the twist happened at the end, he was mostly confused. He was like, "What?"
Right. I was confused the first time I saw it too, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Unbreakable!"
Yeah.
I didn't even realize. I was all confused. But I love James McAvoy. I think he's great.
Yeah, he's great. So underrated.
So good.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can switch between that many characters within one take. It's wild. He's awesome.
I want him to get like some kind of like Oscar nominated role.
I think he should.
Was he nominated for Atonement? Right, he was in that.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't remember.
I don't know, but then
I think he was in that though.
Yeah, but I mean, like he did. He's still in X-Men with Michael Fassbender, who's gone on to do some pretty great things also. So I can see like him being next.
I think he deserves some recognition for sure.
Yeah, it really does.
On a big level, I love him.
Yeah, he hosted like SNL too, like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, and I should watch it too because he does like all these voices and stuff. I'm sure he'd fit right in.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, Meg, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me.
This is great. It's really fascinating what you're doing.
It's crazy. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it myself. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes, and I'm definitely going to check out the podcast now.
Yeah, please
You guys check out the podcast too, Hollywood Godfather podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
And the book as well, coming out March 12th. In stores everywhere, Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, you can pre-order now on Amazon. There's not much time left, but you can pre-order now still if you want it.
Perfect. All right. Thank you guys for watching. If you've seen my Instagram page, you may know that my next guest is Father McShane. If you've not seen the Instagram page and you want to ask him a question or you want a question to potentially appear in the episode, just comment below, DM me on Instagram or something. You know, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. All right. I will see you guys next time. Bye.